Relief for Aussie homeowners is looking more likely than ever, with one of Australia's major banks declaring a May rate cut is a done deal. That's a quote. The sentiment was revealed by CommBank senior economist Stephen Wu, who revealed a drop in interest rates will happen if inflation data falls in line with the Reserve Bank's expectations. For more, finance expert and founder of Fortlake Asset Management, Dr Christian Bayliss, joins us live. Good morning to you. Is he alone, or are the other banks thinking the same?
Look, most of the banks have come into line now. I think what's happened ultimately, the tariff-led chaos has ultimately tipped so many economists over the line in terms of expecting a May rate cut. Would have been a close call prior to that, but I think with everything that's going on, with all of the dust that's been thrown in the air, people are starting to believe that the path of least resistance is for the RBA just to cut and effectively underwrite the economy, make sure that all of that uncertainty is effectively alleviated with some type of help for households.
So will it be a bigger cut than 0.25% then?
I don't think so. No, I think 50 is just going a bit too far. That's a crisis type of cut level. I don't think we're in a crisis just yet. Obviously, there's a lot of uncertainty out there, and I think this is almost like an insurance cut. You don't really need to do it. Obviously, households are struggling with the cost of debt, inflation, these sorts of things, but there is just as much data on the other side of the table that could justify a no cut as opposed to a cut. And keeping in mind, only 3.3 million households have a mortgage out of the 10 million households that there are. So there's going to be a lot of people that ultimately, will not like the actual cut as well. It will hit savings rates and these sorts of things.
We forget about them. We don't, but some people do, don't they? Sure. Because they are living on their savings and they have liked the fact that interest rates have been up.
Yeah, and keeping in mind savings are very elevated because of the pandemic era response. We had the biggest transfer from the public sector over to the private sector, meaning that the government took on more debt, basically plonked that in people's bank accounts. People got more savings as a result of that, and therefore they're much more sensitive to the level of interest rates on savings. Meanwhile, the amount of people with mortgages didn't really change that much. So we do have a lot more sensitivity on that side of the ledger that people need to keep in mind.
OK, so you're saying a cut in May, probably 0.25%. Yep. And then what?
And then I think we wait for the next CPI. So the CPI comes out next Wednesday on the 30th of April. That will be the key data point that feeds into the RBA for the May meeting. But I think as we roll forward, we're going to need another 3 months of CPI data just to see how all of the tariff-led uncertainty actually feeds into the CPI. Because the one thing none of us really know at the moment is that how do tariffs ultimately affect global inflation, and then how do they affect global growth? Most people are saying all of the chaos is leading into a higher probability of a global recession, but we have to wait and see, basically see how the rubber hits the road with all of this, because a lot of it is still up in the air.
OK, thanks for bringing us up to date, Christian. Here's Chevo.